Hello, everybody. My name's Thurvin, and in this particular video, I am not going to be showing my face. I'm just gonna talk about some of the different albums I've released. You know, what kind of inspired them, some of the thought process behind the albums I made. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much what this video's for. Um, and this is just kind of the state of my catalog of music currently as of October 2025. Um, so the most recent album I just released was called Wo De Aiden. So that album, it's a predominantly hip hop album. Uh, the characters, if you don't know, they are Chinese in nature. So, uh, there's some Mandarin in some of the lyrics, in some of the songs, and it's really just based on a cool guy I know. Now, nextly, I'm gonna go over to Murder She Wrote. So that album, it's based on a character that I created called Kira, or should I say Kira. She is a really messed up person. She had a really traumatic upbringing, being raped, choked, you know, drowned in water till she went unconscious by her parents. And she just, because of that, it turns her into a psychotic woman, and she just goes on a killing spree. She kills her parents, she kills the people that harmed her. And I guess the easiest person I could compare her to, even though they're not exactly the same, is like a Harley Quinn type of woman. Like, well, she's nothing like Harley in terms of intellect. Like intellectually, she's like one of the smartest things out there. Like she's very calculated. She's skilled in acrobatics. She's good with weapons. Uh, I mean, her main weapon of choice is her pistol, which is the name of her pistol, essentially. And then she has a boyfriend um, who is who's in the image. And the album is really based on the fact that it's October this time of year and Halloween's coming up. So I just kind of made her to be based on, you know, that Halloween murder vibe type movie. Um, Nextly, we're going to go to Money Lessons. So this album is predominantly hip hop in style. Uh, I think it's all hip hop now that I think about it, but and rap. And it's it's all around just teaching money lessons from like bankruptcy, being frugal with your money, uh, you know, uh, planning for the future, things like that. Family Funsies, it's an alternative album. The songs, like the genres for the songs, kind of just vary depending on the song. But the whole gist of it is really I wanted to make an album that was not necessarily family friendly, but family themed and family oriented. Uh, so a lot of the songs are kind of built around the theme of family and in the way that I imagine it, you know. um, then Worldwide Dance Party, as the name implies, I mean it's kind of like taking you around the world. Um, so meaning that you're gonna hear a bunch of different languages. Like I included several different languages in that album, from like Russian, Portuguese, French, Spanish, Mandarin, Japanese. Uh, Really, my intention with this album was just to make something that was EDM predominantly, predominantly EDM, so electronic dance music. If you don't know what that means, mostly not all of the songs are in that category, but mostly of that style. And the goal of the album was just to have a bunch of different languages and a lot of like dance type vibe songs to them. Then with blooper tracks, that album is just kind of like some throwaway tracks I had in my catalog that I made just for the fun of it. And I thought, these are songs that have flaws in them from my perspective, like even from the way they sound and performance wise. So I thought, let me just make them call it blooper tracks and just have that out there for my fun. Korean Love Story. That album is just an R&B album. It talks about the life of a Korean woman and her journey in love with the man of her dreams, essentially. And you also get to see like some of the different emotional problems she had to overcome, as well as some challenges with dating this guy that she ended up with. Now the other side of love is just, oh my gosh, I don't know what I was thinking when I made that one. It was just, some of it were like songs based on, one of the songs I believe was based on a true experience that I had myself. And then some of the other songs were just completely random ideas that just I thought, let me put them in here. And then one of the songs was based on a guy that I met in the military who wanted to sleep around with, a lady, like the mom, sister, daughter, that whole shebang. So that's where that song comes from. You'll know it when you hear it if you get to it. Um, Now Blue Water, Fragments of Her. That album, it's a J-pop album, and my whole goal with it was just to kind of like take you down the journey of a woman who is, she's also grown up kind of with a harsh past, but she develops herself over time through just getting to know herself. And with each song, it's like as like the title implies, it's like you get to see a fragment of her being restored and found. So it's kind of sad. It's on the somber side, but it does kind of pick up, and you get to see her evolve a little bit. Now, Play and Pause, Mirror Moves. This album is just a K-pop album. It was based around just me wanting to try to make a K-pop album, the way I imagine one being, and I tried to have like some stories behind each of the songs, and they were just song ideas I just came up with on the fly one particular day. Then Spirit Walks, that album is just a Christian rap album. So not really much there to expound upon. The album next to it, Savage. I'm not gonna spell that last word out for you, but that album is just me just having fun with rap. It has a lot of explicit language in it, of course, just based on the title alone, you can see that. And it just kind of talks about some different relationship issues that are going on between men and women, um, as well as just it even has like one of the songs is based on real life event that happened to me with my trainer Darius. So, and it was a song I made as a joke to him, like, because I had a panic attack one day at work, and I decided to turn the whole experience into a song, and just to like screw with my trainer, and he found it absolutely hysterical and thought you should make more music, bro. And so here I am months later with the whole catalog. But yeah, so that's where Thank You Darius comes from. But okay, nextly is Business Lounge. That album in particular is just nothing but instrumentals being played. It's supposed to be, very calming, relaxing, nothing to, you know, nothing to like overstimulate you or anything. Then Home is a lo-fi album, so low fidelity, and it's really just an album I made, um, just to relax, give you that comfort feeling you have when you're at your home. It's supposed to be peaceful, calming. I listen to it quite a bit, just to help me sleep sometimes and relax at night. That was kind of the whole purpose I had behind it. And then Another Universe, as the title implies, it's like taking you into another universe that's not ours. So it's like kind of like supernatural stuff happening in there, things that will not happen. I also put myself in the shoes of like, if I was in another universe, this is what Durban would be like, and so on and so forth. So that's where some of those songs come from. Some of them are kind of like I said, supernatural. So it's to fit that another universe type vibe, if that makes sense. Uh, Now, God is Here is a Christian album. It's just supposed to be worship music. That's really all there is to it when I made those songs. And they're just something that I made to reflect kind of like my own spiritual walk. Some of the things that I think about. Pure Evil and Pure Good. Man, I haven't heard that album in such a long time. But it's basically just kind of as the image implies in the title, it's supposed to have like a duality to it. It's an alternative album that kind of goes into some dark issues as well as like some lighter things. And then My Eyes is a alternative album as well. It's just it's kind of like a walk into my life and my mind and the way I look at things is kind of how I view that album. That was the whole purpose behind it, just to give you some kind of like idea of how I see the world a little bit. Not 100%, but just a little bit, just to give you a taste into my mind and the way I think. Ballin' Every Day. Now, that album is one of my favorites. It's a hip hop album, uh, predominantly, and really it combines my love for basketball, because basketball is my favorite sport. It combines my love for basketball with also my love for business work, and being ambitious, wanting to improve myself. That's really what balling every day is for, and just kind of to talk on those aspects of my life. Now, the album Are You Real, and forgive the organized chaos on the shelf, but Are You Real is just, that was my first album I ever released. Um, it's basically just an album that talks about me. Like, it's just me being vulnerable. Uh, in that album, I have one song called Echo that's based on a true story. It talks about my relationship with a girl named Echo that I had in high school, that I no longer talk to. And we were just real, I just, I get real vulnerable in that album, kind of just talking about some of my problems in my personal life. And then some of the songs are just kind of um, all over the place, really, to like reflect kind of where my head space is at a lot of times. I just have a lot of ideas that float around, so I just kind of explore them. Now, Family Lessons is just a children's music album. Like, I kind of designed it as if I was to have future children. These are songs I would let them listen to. That's pretty much it. Therapy I never had. Just kind of talks about some of the issues I have. Um, some of the thoughts running through my mind and all. Playlist of Us is just a pop album. Just kind of goes over the theme of love. Um, just with characters I created. Baila conmigo, mi amor. Uh, so, to dance with my love, essentially, in Spanish. I grew up, if you don't know me, uh, I have a lot of Hispanic family. So I grew up on Latin music. And I just wanted to make a very brief Latin album, just talking about the theme of love, really. And then Hidden Anger is just kind of a brief album, just talking about random ideas I had one day. I'll Be Over in 5. It's just about a woman in New York who, gets gets hit up by her man to come over, and so she races her way to get to him. That's all. Just typical love themes. Uh, these other songs, She's Shaking, you know. I made that song to be something that I could dance to and twerk to at home by myself. But I'm just kidding. Well, not really. But I actually made that song. She's shaking ass with no ass. This song was actually inspired by a Wild and Out skit that I had saw one day with Maddie, uh, where they were like, Maddie's shaking ass with no ass. So I thought to myself, let me make my own version of the song. Um, obviously I'm not gonna reference Wild and Out or anything like that. That's not what I did with this song. The idea came from the show, so I put my own twist and spin on it essentially. Train. It's an original song that I wrote. I wanted to make a song in a style similar to Future, the artist, and I just wanted to experiment and just try something different. So that's what Train is for. I just wanted to do something fun and different, and there you go. Um, Now, Come to Me, A Journey of Grace. This is a song that one of my friends requested that I make. So I made two versions of the song. One of them is uh, kind of like a general worship song. And then the other version of the song is actually based on my friend Lindsay's story in the Air Force. So, hence why I have the album art the way I did. But uh, that song was a personal request from a friend of mine, and you know, I just wanted to represent her story with Christ as well as I could. And I'm open to doing other songs like that for friends. Like, friends of mine have asked me for requests, and I've made songs for them. So, something I'm open to. I Miss You. This was a song that I made uh, just because I was like missing home and family and friends and things like that. So I made a song to kind of resemble that. And I also like was a little bit inspired by some Billie Eilish songs I've listened to, or should I say, a Billie Eilish song, really. Um, I didn't steal from her or anything. It's just I kind of wanted to create a character of that kind of resembled Billie in the sense, like, blonde hair, white, but gives off a very relaxing vibe. Assassin. I like the game Assassin's Creed, and I thought of just making a song called Assassin, and here it is. I don't even listen to this song anymore, as crazy as it sounds. I feel bad that I never listened to this song. But anyway, I digress. NPCs stands for non-playable characters. Uh, this song was just based on that concept because there are just people in my life that are NPCs, and even I think about people in the real world. Some of them are just NPCs roaming around and are just there, and it's just like, yeah, let's make a song called NPC. Daddy's Girl. Well, this song is just based on if I became a dad, I'd want my daughter to love me and, she'd be a daddy's girl. So that's where that idea came from. Japanese Curves, Fat Ass White Girl. I don't need to say anything about these songs. They're pretty self-explanatory what they are about if you listen to them. So, yeah, I'm not going to expound on that. I Want Him. I mean, it's a song about a woman, Hannah, who wants to steal a married man. Um, yeah, because he's a successful dude, so that's why Hannah wants him. And she thinks she could be better than his wife, essentially, in a nutshell. I love When She Works. This is just inspired by a guy who loves to see his wife work. That's it. Nothing crazy. Temptress, Sexy Temptation. This is based on a character that I created with the simple goal that this woman, she is, I guess there's no better way to put it, but she's promiscuous. She is, she doesn't, she looks at men as like a means to pleasure and happiness through sex. It's kind of her thing. She's not looking to take advantage of them or hurt them or anything like that, unlike some women out there that I know. Or, well, I wouldn't say that. I don't know those women. That's a lie. But basically, it's about a woman who really loves having sex, and she wants to make men want her, essentially, so she can get her, needs met sexually, I should say. Um, yeah, the song next to it, Us Both. This song is actually based on the lifestyles of some people I have heard in podcast interviews and some other sources of inspiration that I will not share on this, but it's just based on some, an idea that I had, and so I created these two characters, these two ladies, to resemble that, and yeah, it's not based on me at all. It's just based on some stories I've heard from other people's perspectives. So then Echo, I already kind of talked on that earlier, who she is to me, so I'm not gonna go into that again. One of my favorite words, shit. 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 But yeah, that song is just meant to be like a hype song, something that, gets me going, excited. That's really all it's about. Then She Hit Me with this was just a song that I came up one day. I was in the car with my sister driving home, and it just, a woman was like singing on the radio. I couldn't even remember what the song was about, but it kind of hit me like, oh, she hit me with a, and the title just came to my brain, and then I just thought about like, okay, this song's gonna be about like those different scenarios where a woman just kind of like switches up on you and then gets kind of sexual with you, or vice versa, and she's not as sexual with you, and she's kind of giving you like mixed signals. So yeah, she hit me with a. That's kind of what that's about, and it's kind of like it's very repetitive. She hit me with a, you know, and I kind of designed it that way because that's kind of how I imagined the song going a little bit. But yeah, nonetheless. And then my talks with God. That's just based on me and my talks with God. Not 100% accurate to the letter, but it's inspired by me. And then Your Bad Girls is inspired by a guy with 6 wives, hence why there's the one guy and 6 ladies around him in the image. And they're his bad girls. They spoil him, they love him, and they do all these things because they love him. Essentially, so it's all about 6 women spoiling their man, and yeah, that's it in a nutshell. And then there's like 2 versions of it. My personal favorite, one of my favorite songs I've ever made, is Your Bad Girls, the Japanese remix, or should I say Japanese version. It's just one of my personal favorite songs because I want to be spoiled by a lady. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. um, and multiple baddies spoiling me. Now that's heaven on earth right there. But yeah. Anyway, and then the Mandarin version also of that same song is just I just love it for the vocals, the way they incorporate the I believe it's their idhu as the instrument. I believe it's used. I may be wrong on that one, but yeah, it's one of my those 2 songs, hands down, like one of my favorites. And so yeah, that's kind of a update of what my catalog is about as of October of this year. So yeah, if you got any questions, you want to know what inspired a particular song you may be listening to, uh, shoot me a message in the comments, or message me on Instagram at Thurbin Gene James. That's another place you can reach me. And, and if you don't, I hope you have a great rest of your day and enjoy my content. Deuces.